Welcome to Did It on Purpose podcast, the evolution of love, where we discuss the naked truth on love, marriages, and why we did it on purpose. I am your host, Lena Anthony, and this is my dope husband.
Why don't never say this is the other host?
Okay, I'm sorry. I am your host, Lena Anthony, and this is my other host, my dope husband,
Todd.
Why is his intro as always?
That's it. It's just that.
That's his acting voice, guys.
No, it's not. Go ahead.
So what voice is that?
It's just a voice.
That's the theatrical voice. But anyway, I'm excited about this episode. This is a first. This is a first.
First what? It's not a first. We having another guest on.
Yeah, but this is a different kind of guest.
Oh yeah, but he's still a guest.
The suspense is real. They want to know who this guest.
Lord. Okay.
No,
We're talking about blended families.
What I like to call the perfect blend. Mm-hmm. And so we are the perfect blend.
For those who don't know, obviously we are a family of 5 at the moment. And
child.
What?
Just,
What?
Nothing.
Oh Lord.
At the moment.
Yeah. Well, babe, by the time this comes out, the other thing gonna be out already. Listen, we have a child. By the time this comes out, our other child will be here.
Woo, we about to be a family.
No, it won't. It won't be here. But anyway,
we're a family of 6. Hey, y'all got it first. Maybe.
No, y'all ain't get it first. Y'all definitely didn't get it first. Because we just did another project and we're gonna have it out first.
That is
true.
But
anyway, but no. For those who don't know, obviously, right now we are a family of 6, but 5 are presently on Earth. Actually, all 6.
No, wait,
Sorry.
On Earth, the babies.
I said actually all. I said actually all of us is here. They just incubating right now.
Lord.
But when I met my wife, she had her son, Taiki, which was from her previous marriage, and so that's what really makes us a blended family. Even though we don't use any terms of step this or step that. The society would use that term, but at the end of the day, we're family, period. Whether one is from another marriage or before anybody came into the picture, family is loyalty, and family is who you make life with. And so that's why we don't use terms of step this or step that. It's like, no, I'm dad, that's my son, that's her son. And those are our children.
We are joined together.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the perfect blend or the blended family. I feel like a lot of times when you hear blended families or when you people talk about this topic, they're always talking from the parent's perspective and not the child's perspective. And so I wanted to not only shine some light on our perspective, but also shine some light on the children, and what they had to go through and how they've overcome and how they've gelled together, combined, all of that.
Or if they liked it or not.
Yeah,
Because I was a stepchild at one point, so I know I had that experience.
How was that, being a stepchild and having to blend in with your stepmom?
I wasn't even thinking about it. See, I don't look at her as a stepmom. See, I wasn't even thinking about that. So that goes to show you, like, but with my mom and her ex-husband, which is my oldest sister's dad, it wasn't the greatest because of just there wasn't a real connection.
This is weird.
What?
It was like choking you.
That's not. I don't feel choked.
I thought the shirt was attacking you.
No, I'm good. I'm good. It's Biggie. You know,
Yeah, that's why I wanted to help you.
uh, I'm good, baby, baby.
Oh my God.
uh, no, I mean, from my perspective, like it wasn't the greatest only because we didn't really have a relationship of like, if anybody looked from the outside, that's his real son, you know. So we didn't have that type of relationship. And then obviously, you know, the experience of his relationship with my mom wasn't the greatest. A lot of arguing, a lot of fighting within the household. So that already skewed my vision of the type of man he was, and it already put up a barrier between me and him of I didn't even want you to even have that title for me. And then I had a father. Like I had a father who was very present. So it'd be one thing if he was present and he was like another real father figure, but he was really just a provider. And that was it. But as far as my dad and my mom, which is technically my stepmom, but she's been there since I was, I don't know, in first grade, kindergarten, first grade.
That's so
And
beautiful.
consistent.
Yeah.
And treated me like I was her son. And so, but the experience with him in the early parts still, and because I very much had a mother as a child, I didn't understand that this was another mother figure, and I could look at her like another mother figure. I just looked at her as my dad's wife, who was very nice, who treated me like her son, but I never fully opened up and gave her the, not only the title, but the inwardness to feel like this is mom. Until like my later years, until I understood like, nah, this is like, she's just as much as my mom is the one who birthed me.
Did you have a hard time calling her mom? Because I see how you guys are. I mean, I can't tell the difference from your mother, your biological mother's relationship, and this one. Like, it is a lot the same. It's beautiful. So, you know, like, did you have a challenging time with that
Yeah.
naturally, like saying the words mom to another woman?
Yeah, I didn't start calling her mom until like comfortably until 3 years ago.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Cause I mean, but it wasn't because I didn't look at her that way. One, it was out of habit. I would call her Barbara, because that's what she said, call me. So now you do that out of habit for so long. When you start to formulate, it's just like when you start using words that you've never used before, and you fumble over them because you're not used to using those words.
Yeah.
And so for her, it wasn't even the fact that I didn't look at her like mom. It was like, wait, I never actually said mom to you. So I had to get used to saying that.
Right.
Now it's like I can say it, like it's not even a thing. But yeah, like it wasn't because I didn't want to. I just was so used to saying Barbara.
Right.
And but when I became a parent, or even when it was apparent that we were going to get married, and I started looking at it from that lens, from a parent's lens, I was like, wow, I wonder how does she feel by the one that she's pretty much taking care of just as much as all the other parents. How does it feel to hear the child call you by your name as opposed to calling you mom? Because that's how you operate. And that's when I started saying, I need to start calling her mom. Because if I'm, as a parent, going to give my all to a child, whether it's my biological or not, eventually I've earned that.
That's
and
really
so,
good.
But you have to also be wise enough and strategic enough to make the child see that, so that the child doesn't think, oh, you just trying to replace, or you just want me to call you, dad or mom. And it's like, no. And that's what my stepdad did. It was
Right.
like, you didn't even earn that title.
Right.
So that was a different conversation.
You know, when we first met, when my ex-husband and I got divorced, I wasn't looking to date. It just naturally happened. Like, after some time, God has graced me to, okay, remarry, start this thing over. And I remember it just being because I never experienced a blended family growing up. Like my mom has 6 children by 6 different men. And although she was married to my youngest sister's father, he wasn't present enough. Like he was so very much in and out of our life that he was just Tony. Like it was what it was. Right.
Let's
So
edit that part out. I don't think we need to say his name.
he was just whoever he was. It was what it was. I never really called him dad. And so, and then I didn't have my biological father in my life growing up. So I never really experienced a blended family. So when it came time for me to start dating again and trying to integrate you into me and my son's life, and then also having an ex-father who was ex-husband who was and still is very much present in our relationship and, in fathering his son. And even us to have a, cohesive, respectable relationship for the sake of our son. I had no experience. It was just like, Lord, I need you to give us grace, because it wasn't easy in the beginning. It was, my ex-husband wasn't even okay with it. He was not ready for another man to be around his son. And it took for him to, like, no, Todd needs to prove himself. Like, I need to have a conversation with him. I need to see him. And, and then when he saw, you being more present, it was like, well, you was always present, but when he was exposed to you more, it was it just took him a long time to truly embrace it. And so, like I said, we always hear these conversations from the parents' perspective, but what about the child? Because they are very much affected, a lot of times you think that they're healing in silence, or you don't even, or do you focus on their healing, But
Yes.
for me,
Most parents is like, listen, this is my life.
this is
and
my
you're a part
life
of
and
it.
I'm grown, right? But for me, I don't know. Like I was me and my son, we had such a beautiful bond, like through the first marriage and through the divorce. And even through our divorce, I felt like me and my son got even closer because it was just him and I. So I respected his opinion so much. And I was very protective of, 1, who I'm bringing in here, 2, who I'm going to help raise you, and 3, like, who's going to be a father figure just as much as his father is, because he already has a wonderful relationship with his father. So who am I going to bring in, not even to match that, not to do better, but like, what benefits are you going to bring my child? And so I was very cautious in how I moved. And I just remember constantly asking my son. I constantly asked him once his dad started dating, and, I kind of started dating, but I didn't really expose it to him. But the moment I did expose him, I asked my son, I said, I remember I told you the story. I said, Taiki, when you're ready for mommy to date, who would the ideal guy be? And my son had a relationship with Todd because he knew that, or he had a relationship with you because he knew that we were friends. And so
by that time I was around.
Right, you were around
Yeah.
a lot. And so I remember him saying, like, Mom, I like Todd. He's nice to me, And that mattered to me so much. Like, it really did. But the reason why I say that we're this perfect blend is because perfect doesn't mean we have it all together. It doesn't mean we didn't have hard times, rough times, difficulty time. We went through hell and hot water. We went through a lot. It was literally
Is the term hell and hot water or hell and high water? I want this for clarity. It's high. That's what I thought.
Okay, hell and high water.
I mean,
Forgive
it can be
me.
both. You can go through hell and hot water.
Woo, we went through hell and high water. But I was saying that because
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you
you
off.
definitely threw me off, babe. I
You
was
said,
saying,
we're the perfect blend because we've gone through hell and hot water, and
Yeah, we've gone through hell, but what I was going to say was it was an answered prayer. It truly was an answered prayer, and that's why I call us the perfect blend, because I didn't see the other side of it. I constantly prayed, and I would pray like, Lord, please, fix this, help us to respect each other, help us to, to come to some type of agreement, to get on the same page, to, give us a flow. Like, we had no groove, and we were honestly trying to force a groove because we didn't know what we were doing. We were in our 20s, but we had no choice but to figure it out for the sake of our child. And so the perfect blend to me is it's not about the imperfections, but it's about the answer prayer. And God said to us, this relationship will be restored. This relationship will be rehabilitated. Lord Jesus, help me with my words. But I thank God that now, like, our relationship, how we can all come together, we have dinner together, and how we can, celebrate our sons' birthdays and holidays together or whatever. And it's people look at us now like, wow, like, if you remember how hard it was, like, I remember crying to you several times, like, he just don't get it. And it was times where I felt like he was disrespectful. I was disrespectful, And I remember you were so patient, like, well, you need to change the way you talk to him. You need to change the way you're trying to do things. Like, that's still his father, like, and it just, I had to really let go and let God control the situation for things to just become just better. Because it was tough.
Time heals all.
Time heals all.
And again, the respect for individuals will oftentimes cause things to like shift for the better, because you don't have to have the greatest of relationships, but when you respect one another, you can make things cordial, even when co-parenting or in any disagreement, even if it's not co-parenting. But for me, the reason why I was able to remain calm, one, I'm a calm person, but two, I know what it's like to be a stepchild. And I remember looking at the two parents and like, yeah, this is all wrong. Like, if I ever become this, I'll know how to do it.
I feel like God prepared you just from those experiences. Like, he prepared you for me and Taiki.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, it helps with parenting. It helps with talking. It helps with discipline. It helps with all of that, and it all comes in strides and levels and the proper times. That's why you notice differently. Like, now I discipline him differently now than when I did at 8 years old, because it's like you got to earn the child's trust. Yeah. For them to know like, okay, this person really does love me and they really are here for me and they've been here for me. So now when they give direction or correction, it doesn't come across as, oh, you trying to be it's like, no, that's pretty much what you've been. Yeah. So I can take direction and correction from you. But if that was never there, then it would just feel like some person or somebody that's just around that doesn't really show interest except when they want to tell me what to do. Yeah. And that's, that.
What's so beautiful though?
But me and him are a lot alike.
You guys.
That's why I think we are the perfect blend when you use that word, is because
you and Taiki.
It's a very weird way. Yeah, me and Taiki are a lot alike.
Oh my gosh.
As far as
my gosh.
We're both just naturally calm demeanors. When I was a kid, I was super laid back.
It's funny because people now, like, when they meet us, not knowing that, he has a different father, they're like, wait, Todd not his dad?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't even matter the looks. They have the personality, the demeanor, all of it is the exact, even to this day, his mom, Todd, your mom is like, oh, Taiki is just like Todd when he was growing up, like exactly alike. So, and that she even helped me through the process because I remember so vividly, when a lot of times when you see marriages fail and divorces happen and then new marriages happen, right? A lot of times the reason why that perfect blend is hard to exist is because the new husband or the new wife don't, or they choose a side, and it's always going to be the wife's side or always going to be the husband's side. And the beautiful thing about you that I really admired
I'm
was
listening.
you were very patient and very much so like on Terrell's side a lot. Like, well, Lena, you got to understand his point of view. I am new in it. Like, it was like you didn't come in trying to force a situation to happen.
Yeah, because one, I'm a man. I don't have to have children to be a man. And I know, again, I can look at it all from all perspectives. I remember how my dad felt. I remember how my mom felt. I remember how my stepdad felt and was, and how he disrespected my dad at times, how they had arguments. Like, it was, so it was just like, for me, I'm looking at it from all viewpoints and saying, you always have to put yourself in each other's shoes, even whether you together or not, in order to understand somebody's perspective. To you, they might not be justified in how they're reacting, but to them, they're justified.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out why. And so I was able to look back and like, all right, listen, if it were me and the roles were reversed, I probably wouldn't react the same, but I'm gonna have the same sentiments in the sense where I need to get to know the person. I need to meet them and see what kind of person they are. And then the ex-wife, if y'all have a great relationship, she'll even listen to her ex-husband more when it's like, let me actually listen to what he's saying, because maybe this person don't have the right qualities to be a father. And it's not him hating, it's him really genuinely like, I'm trying to give you some guidance.
Yeah.
But because you know, if the maturity level is not there, you not even listening to one another. And so for me, the most important person in the relationship is the kid. And so I'm like, that's who it's affecting more.
Yeah.
It's not about y'all two and y'all going back and forth and arguing. Trust me, he listening and he's hearing all of that. And it affects him, hopefully for the better, because he'll know how not to talk to a woman, or how not to, or how to de-escalate arguments, or not even argue, period. You know what I mean? To avoid maybe even having a blended family. You know what I mean? The goal is not to have a blended family. The goal is to start a family with your person. But if you do, at least you're equipped because you've been through it.
There's a way of doing it right, you know? It's not perfect, but there is a way that it can be done. You know, it can be honored, it can be respected, it can be loved and cherished if you can all just, you know, come together and like let go of your pride, humble yourself. Because I learned so much during the process. But what I want to do is I am actually really excited because we're going to actually bring Taiki on so that he, for the first time ever, he gets to share. You know, I mean, we've talked about it,
In
but
public, he gets to share.
he gets to share in public, you know, how it affected him or if it affected him. So we'll be right back. Welcome, Taiki, to our episode. I'm so excited to have my son on. This is a treat. This is really a treat, y'all. It was not easy for him to just say, "Yeah, Mom, I'll come on your podcast." But
He doesn't do this.
yeah, my son doesn't even like taking pictures. Okay, I gotta pay him now to do content. Yo, but he really said to me, "Am I getting paid for this podcast?" Like he really did say, it. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll pay you for your time."
You ain't paying. Listen, all the money that be spent on this boy. Go ahead.
But so yeah, we're talking about, you know, the divorce that we had and now the remarriage and, you know, the blended family, our perfect blend. You know, the beautiful thing about the dynamic that we have is Taiki lives with both us and his father. So he has a room at his father's house. He has a room at our house, of course. And so I remember when we first when the divorce first happened, and he, his father and him, but too, because he had an opinion. It was like, well, I don't want to just live with you, mom. I want to live with my father too, because that's what he was used to. And so for me, I was like, I felt like my boy was being taken, but it made sense. Like, I'm not gonna strip him from his time from his father. Like, it's like, how many people can say that their fathers are present 100%? And one thing I can say about his father, hands down, he is an amazing father. He will do above and beyond what he has to do for his son. So it was an easy decision to make, honestly. So I just want to talk about the transition, let's talk about when it first happened. Because I remember we talked about this recently, and I said, I think I forgot the initial experience. So I wanted to know again, like, how did it affect you when it first happened, when dad left and it was just me and you? Like, what was that for you?
Um, when it oh shoot, hold up. When it happened, I was a little sad because I was like younger. I was about like 5 years old or so, so I didn't understand what's going on. I thought he was leaving, so I was just kind of sad a little bit because I thought he was leaving us. But I kind of adjusted to it over time, like getting comfortable, like with just him out the house and just having to switch houses each weekend and stuff. I adjusted to it.
Yeah.
Um, did you ever did you ever at one point feel or hope, like, I hope they get back together?
Not really, cause I like the gifts every and the Christmases. I got more gifts and stuff. So yeah, I
Wow.
didn't.
Wow, the benefit.
Yeah.
Dang, Taiki, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess that
That's a kid answer.
no, for real. That
They
must
think about themselves. They're like, listen, they'll be all right.
they
Yeah.
divorced, but mom buying me this and dad buying me this. But the funny thing is, you saying that makes it so real because I remember like Christmas time or back to school times, like he would come home and be like, "All right, mom, this is my Christmas list for you, or this is my back to school list for you." I'm like, "Okay, so if I'm getting this, then what your dad getting? Because this is expensive." He'd be like, "Oh, my dad already got me blah 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 blah," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay. Well, this is thank you. You actually made my life a little bit easier." So, oh, that's actually really good. Um, I remember you said something to me the other day. You said that actually hit me hard when we had this conversation the other day because I didn't remember the moment. I remember, so I had to backtrack when he shared this. We were the night we were arguing, and Taiki, you were like 5 or 6. I think it was 5 at the time,
Hmm.
and we were arguing in the living room. And I remember telling your dad like, "You need to leave. You need to leave." And Taiki said he just stood there in the midst of the conversation or the arguing, and his dad looked at him and just left, and Taiki was just crying. And when he reminded me of that moment, I'm on a couch and this is literally recently. I literally teared up because it hit me. I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about that back then. In the moment, I think I was more so thinking about this situation, me, and yes, I had my son in consideration, but it didn't affect me the way that it did when he told me. Like, he was like, I was just crying because I thought my dad was leaving forever. I thought when you told him to leave that I would never see him again. And I was like, wow, that's actually deep. We don't realize the things that we say and how it truly does affect the children because they don't understand what's really happening in this situation, you know? So I actually appreciate you sharing that experience.
It's funny. Well, I don't know. I remember. See, I didn't have the experience of knowing when my dad was leaving because my dad and mom split up when I was 1. So, but I always had an image in my head that I thought was a dream for the longest until like maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago. I confirmed it. I was asking my mom and having the same conversation with her, like,
Move your hand, babe. Sorry.
huh?
Move your hand. It makes it muffled.
No, I'm not. I'm talking. Um, um, 5 or 6 years ago, I was just explaining to her like I will always have this vision. Her and my dad. One got me by the arms, one got me by the legs, and they playing tug of war. Like, no, he's mine. He's mine. No, he's mine. He's mine. And my mom was like, yeah, that really happened. And I was like, I
Wow.
said, I knew it did because the feeling of every time I have the memory, it would be like, yo, that was just crazy. But I was only 1 years old. And she said that
Wow.
was actually the last argument we had before we split up. So
That's
you just
deep.
never know. Like, so imagine a 5 or 6 year old, like them things, they affect the
Yeah.
children in the relationship.
Hmm. That's actually really deep. So fast forward now, you know, mom is dating, hidden, secretly dating. You see Ty, but you don't really, or did you know? Like that's, I always want to know that. Did you know there was something? Because I thought we was doing a good job hiding things from you.
Not really. Yeah, I didn't really notice.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. But I remember you said when I said to you,
You don't remember me acting like I gotta tell it now because
what?
so what we would do.
What? I don't know what he about to say, y'all. He's scaring me.
I would leave. I'll be at the house. I'll be at the house till he be asleep, and I would take him to school in the morning. Like I'm coming from my place. I would leave, go out, and turn right back around. Like, you ready? He'd be like, yeah, yeah, I'm ready.
You remember that? You didn't know? I remember that. Yeah. So even when I would because I will
Oh man.
always at night, I think we prayed at night until you probably was like 8, 9. I don't know. No?
Probably like 7.
Oh, maybe like 7. Let's not mess up his.
Yeah, he was a thug when he was 9.
We prayed together every night until he was like 7. Okay. And I remember so
It was definitely longer than that. I just want to put it
I
on.
think it was, so I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
But
I ain't meet you till you was 7. Y'all was still praying 2 years later. But go ahead.
I'm telling you, we did.
wrong,
But
Dad. You
I
still praying.
remember, I'm not trying to embarrass you.
Go
but
ahead.
I remember, I'd be like, all right, Tyke, say bye to Ty, because he's going home. And Ty would pretend he would leave. He'd probably go sit in his car or something until Tyke would go to sleep. And then he would like come back or we would chill, whatever. But this was like kind of like a little bit now into the relationship. But finally, when it was exposed, how did you feel? Well, you kind of told me, you kind of gave me the green light, honestly. Like you gave me that, okay, I can date now. Like I can date.
He confirmed.
He
You were
confirmed.
dating already. He just
I
confirmed
can
what
make
you was
it
already.
public. Yeah. But what made what made that, happen for you?
I feel like I already built a bond with him, like throughout you guys' friendship, because like we just played together a lot. We played basketball together. We just made jokes together. We had fun together, like almost as like he was like my friend almost, but just a lot older than me. So I feel like I liked it a lot when you are dating and stuff.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
That is sweet. I've never heard him say he was my friend. Like
that's what it felt
that's
like.
beautiful though. Cuz that's what you ultimately want. You don't want when it can never be the perfect blend if a like you said your stepdad come in a picture and trying to force this relationship. Like be his friend first. Be her friend first before you try to become a father. Build the
mean-
trust.
Yeah, and I mean, I wasn't a stepdad either, so I wasn't coming from it from that. Even though I knew that it could go there potentially, but you have to operate at the level you're at, and the level that I was in at that particular time is I'm dating.
Yeah.
This is not for sure that we're going into marriage, so let me just be a father figure, even though I'm not his father. But there's always something because one thing, father means source. So if you have something to give to somebody, you're a source for somebody in some way, shape, or form. So you're always somebody's father figure, even when you have a biological father. So it wasn't necessarily about me being a stepfather or me being in the house. It was like I see this kid. I love kids, and I love to be able to teach and give something of what I know. And because I knew what he had already went through, it was like, let me just be somebody that he can. Man, this I can be myself. I can be a kid, and I'm somebody that can teach you something too. In the meantime, even if me and your mom didn't work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I just want you to, what advice would you give to, someone who was in your shoes? How could you help someone based off your experience?
I'd say like try to build a bond with whoever is coming into your life that's playing like a step role. Like build a bond with them. That's about it. Honestly, I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, for me, it was different because it was like you guys are friends already, so it was different.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it still applies because
Yeah.
I guess my question would be, well, it applies because
He said another question.
no, because it's important because you have kids out there who sometimes they get torn apart because or they don't know how to react when their parents separate or get a divorce.
Yeah.
And some
Or they're
kids
not
don't.
even open or welcoming.
They're not open or their opinion is not heard.
Yeah.
Because one, you're a child, so you're never going to fully understand it. But it is a parent's job to give time for healing for all parties involved. And from from what he just said, I think it's important for a child that be in this position is to um not be try not to be closed off towards somebody new that your parent may be bringing in because they may have something to teach you, but ultimately it's the parent's job because the parent is supposed to cover their children, and if they're bringing somebody in, then the child should be able to trust and say, okay, my mom or my dad has enough judgment to where this must be somebody good, and hopefully the parent has done their due diligence into making sure that who they're bringing in
Yeah.
is of good character and good, morals and all that stuff. But this is the last question. My question
Hold on.
is,
Before you go to your last question, Darrell, can you do a quick video, like 7 seconds this way? I just need for promo, Instagram. Thank you. Video, please. Okay.
you could have got that at the end of what
It's
I was
okay.
saying. No. Are we at 39
We
minutes?
wrapping up. We about to wrap
Oh,
up.
never mind. I'm
No,
not going to
ask,
ask another question.
ask it. No, ask it. Ask
Okay,
it.
all right.
This is really good.
So the last question would be, even now, like this is where you are presently now, because now you're becoming a young man, like you're going on 16. Do you ever feel like is there still battles of, well, this I have my dad here, I know this is my dad and this is my mom, and this is this is in both households. Do you feel like, well, this is still tied and this is I won't announce your dad's wife's name because I'll leave that to her. Or do you say this is like my dad, my mom, and my other dad and my other mom? Or is there still a little bit of like reservedness when it comes to that?
No, I feel like as of right now, I look at you guys both as like actual parents. Like I don't look at you guys as like just step parents anymore because like we've been together for so long now. It's been like over 10 years, so I don't really see you guys as like step parents anymore.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Wow. Amazing. I love you. Aww.
Yeah. My little Rastafari. Look at him. Just look at him.
Well, I just wanted I just wanted to, this episode means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you so much for just agreeing to this. We will have a part 2, so stay tuned. But I just wanted to give some quick tips on, creating that perfect blend. And it may not ever be perfect, right? But blended families it's still a gift from God, right? It's a bonus. Like he said, he got the best of both worlds basically. He get more gifts, right? But how do you start off? One, patience, right? Two, one of my biggest key was prayer and just communication, not just amongst the adults, but also include the children, because their opinions actually matter. Probably more, right? Also building that trust. Like he said, there was a friendship. So that bond alone helped build trust to become a bonus father, right? And so another thing is just create unity. Try to avoid that friction, that okay, well, this is my husband, my wife, and that's your son. Like, no, you have to join together. If you are submerging yourself with that man or that woman, then you are also submerging yourself in that child's life. So create unity. And the other thing is, create boundaries. Create boundaries to a certain degree. Not, this is my son and don't talk to him like that. This is my son, this is how we do things, but create boundaries so that it eases the child and the new spouse into a healthy relationship. And so, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope this helped some families, and we pray, if nothing else, our family shines light and empowerment into your spirit, because listen, what purpose are we if we're not benefiting others? And on
amen
that,
to that one. Now that deserves an amen.
Thank you for tuning in to Did It on Purpose podcast. Again, we love and appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll be back.
Peace.